As usual, the Sussexes make an announcement and then the tabloid media go crazy. Now, when I think tabloid media, obviously I'm thinking of, the usual suspects. I won't even name them. But increasingly, I keep seeing Newsweek magazine. Newsweek magazine, like U.S. News and World Report or Time magazine. These were esteemed magazines. So Time, of course, I love Time magazine for obvious reasons. But Newsweek, I kind of thought Newsweek was okay, but lately their reporting is starting to look increasingly like the tabloids. Now, maybe you already know this because maybe you've seen it and I haven't. But this is just what I'm witnessing lately, and I find it reprehensible and disturbing. That was my first two big words, by the way. I am appalled. 3 big words. These reprobates. 4 big words. I don't even know if that's grammatically correct, but I just like the sound of it. But seriously though, why is Newsweek all of a sudden so gossipy? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle this week branched out into finance, becoming impact partners at an ethical investment firm in a move that a reputation expert told Newsweek could risk over monetizing their brand. Okay, you know what? Don't worry about them over monetizing or overselling themselves. Everything that the Sussexes are doing is quite deliberate. That ain't none of your business. They know what they're doing. They have a group of talented people working with them. This is not the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. This is not so-and-so's son of the butcher, so-and-so's daughter of the baker, and what's his name from the candlestick maker. These are real working professionals who have worked in the entertainment and business industry. These are people who have esteemed business or finance degrees or entertainment backgrounds. This is not some little weasel that you found from Texas and put him in there as some kind of henchman or something. No, these are real professionals. That's why, you know what? There are no leaks. So Newsweek magazine, I am incredibly disappointed. And I am also out of big words. I'm having fun because I'm in a good mood and I'm just not going to let these people ruin my buzz. I am happy for the Sussexes. This has been a good week for them. And this whole thing with the earshot, earthworm, whatever it's called, whatever it is, you know what? Good luck. Best of luck to you. I really don't care. And I think when the ratings come out, you're going to find out that most people really don't care. Not because they don't care about the issues or the topics, but the hypocrite that is making this whatever special is the wrong person to be telling the story. Now, for whatever reason, the media has been hands off with him, especially the tabloids. We know the reason for that. But it's much to do about nothing. The other exhausting topic, how Lilibeth's christening became another royal war. Yeah, I'd like to know that too. How did that become a war? We all know how it became a war. Somebody told somebody, and in other words, it was one leak followed by another leak followed by another leak. You know, the thing that never happens in Montecito. But, over there at KP or Clarence House or Buckingham Palace, they taking on water like the Titanic. I mean, any minute now, the water is going to breach the bulkhead. The Sussexes have been left dismayed after the This is from Daily Beast, by the way. The Sussexes have been left dismayed after one of Britain's best-informed royal reporters, Camilla Tominey, reported in the Daily Telegraph this week, apparently on the basis of a backroom briefing by the palace, that Harry and Meghan's new baby Lilibet would not be christened in England. Why, oh why, does it always go back to Camilla Tominey? She said that the palace source had told her there will not be a christening in the UK. It is not happening, with a second source suggesting it was highly unlikely baby Lilibet would be christened at Windsor as her brother was. Well, okay. She was born in the United States. She's not ever likely to even go near the throne, let alone becoming a sovereign. Among other things, of course, is the fact that we are still in the midst of a global pandemic. Travel has not been completely opened up. And of course, she's a child, so we don't even know what the status of baby Lilibet is at this time, because the Sussexes have only just completed their parental leave. But if I think about it, I don't remember them ever actually saying that the parental leave was over, but we know that they have announced dates and engagements. But whatever the case is, it ain't none of y'all business what they're going to do. The palace don't know. Of course, Camilla Tominey certainly doesn't know, because we all know she just kind of makes up things as she go along just so that she can be relevant. She's riding the coattails of the Sussexes from, 5,000 miles away? But whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. They don't know what's happening in Montecito, and it's driving them crazy. So Camilla Tominey, once again, is trying to find some kind of way to have some credibility. I've noticed that it seems to be a diminished amount of speculation for long periods, and then all of a sudden, here comes Lottie Dottie and everybody with some kind of hypothesis about what the situation is. Wait a minute, was that another big word? Do I get a point for that? Okay, how about this? They come up with another theory. Since I'm on a roll, they come up with another theory. And if y'all think I'm good right now, wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow I am going to watch, of course, Hello, Ivy here. So after a couple of listening to Ivy's podcast, then I'm really, feeling myself. So if you haven't watched Ivy, you better, because I'm telling you, I walk away more enlightened from Ivy's podcast than anything else I can think of. And yes, some of you probably have guessed, I am sitting here with the biggest mug of black coffee. It was kind of slow going, but I gotta confess to you guys, if you want a confession, just lean into your device. Okay, I went to a concert the other night. I went to 21 Pilots. Yes, I was double masked and everything, but I went to a concert. Now, my technical advisor is supposed to be here helping me with the channel, right? How did I end up at a concert? I haven't been to a concert. I can't tell you when was the last time I went to a concert. I think it was probably 3 years ago. But I haven't been to a concert in ages. And somehow I'm at a 21 Pilots concert. And I'm whooping and hollering with the best of them. So I have, I'm trying to recover from that. As I stood there watching the concert, and then with everything in between, I'm telling you, I am feeling about as poor as a chicken wing. I mean to tell you, my lower back, my ankles, my knees, my shoulder, my neck, everything is in distress right now. So, I need a big mug of coffee to try to make this work. I managed to squeeze out something yesterday, so we're going to do it again today. But if I if I sound rather incoherent, you could thank Nathan for that, my technical advisor, who somehow lured me to a concert and a Taco Bell. Did I fail to mention Taco Bell? And I had Taco Bell. So, not to lose focus, the Daily Fail, the Daily Fail is going after the whole story about the sustainable investing. One lead after another, one, assumption or whatever. They have decided to try to take on this investment. You know what, guys? Don't worry about them. The Sussexes have a talented team, and they are pretty sharp themselves. You know, I'm going to tell you, the Duchess of Sussex has been around Hollywood for a long time. She's not Little Nell from the country. This is the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, someone who has had, a connection to the business. So she knows a thing or two. And let's not forget, people have been underestimating Prince Harry his entire life because people have put this message out that he needs to follow and support his brother, otherwise he won't be able to stand on his own. Well, we all know that was certainly not true. If anything, that family had been propped up by the Duke of Sussex for years. It's the family that can't seem to stand on their own, not the Duke of Sussex. Prince Harry is more than capable of carrying his weight and the weight of his family, but because his family disrespected him and underestimated him, he is no longer working for the family. The Sussexes are going to be okay. So I know you guys are, kind of squinting one eye and reading these headlines, and you're probably avoiding the stories because you already know what's written in the story is some negative banter about anything and everything to do with the Sussexes while propping up Duchess Doolittle and Workshire Will, also known as Cain and Unable. Don't worry about it, you guys. The Sussexes got this. They are going to be visible when necessary. They're not out to compete with anybody. They are working on their future. And trust me, Harry knows that this whole thing about speaking out about the drilling in Africa and exploration of oil and gas in Africa, he's taking a big risk. He's putting himself out there for the benefit of the almost 1 million people who live in this Garden of Eden that is right there in Africa, home to animals that, of course, may not be on the brink of extinction, but they still need their natural habitats. Not to mention the water that the people and these animals depend upon may be at risk. So he is taking a risk by getting involved with this, just like Princess Diana did with the landmines. And so it's not as though he's not taking a risk. It's not like they're just sitting back waiting for, their wealth to fall in their laps. They are still working humanitarians, global influencers. They are doing what is necessary to make the world more sustainable for all of us. So don't let these tabloids and these negative, nasty royal reporters and experts and authors, don't let them get in your head. They're trying to paint this picture of them like they're the greedy individuals or something like that. No, that's the other part of the family that does nothing but take and produce very little. And trust and believe, the only reason why the Duke of Cambridge, is up and active and working is because he has to, not because he wants to. It's because he has to. He has a long history along with his wife. They have this long history of doing as little as possible. They haven't changed anything. They're still the same people. They have just honed their skills in the art form of looking busy. But trust me, as soon as they get a chance to, you'll find both of them somewhere with their feet soaking in water, trying to cool their heels because they actually have had a taste of hard work. But this is a clever ruse. Is that a big word? This is some clever ruse so that they can try and convince people that the British public is getting value for their money when it comes to this elaborate grift called the royal family. And then I don't know anything about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, here comes this story about Prince Harry to reach out to donors from Diana's event after refusing an invite. I hope he did refuse the invite, and I hope that he becomes accustomed to refusing invites to the point where they'll just stop inviting him. You know what? He's moved on. But I'm going to tell you, whatever happens, I also think that they said that Elton John won't be there. Well, I've heard different things about him not being there, but whatever it is, I really don't care. I hope he doesn't go either, because they are trying to create an event where there's a bunch of name dropping. And first and foremost, there's going to be the void of Harry not being there. So I'm satisfied with that. So while I'm on a roll, another headline that jumped out, royal family, it just says, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry must make clean break and ditch their titles. Seriously, are we still talking about that? They're not using those titles over here. And whatever happens, they're a double act. Prince Harry will never cease to be Prince Harry. Everybody knows him as Prince Harry. Ain't nobody over here saying HRH unless they are being introduced at a philanthropic endeavor. When they are being introduced at a not-for-profit situation. They are not walking into a boardroom and people are saying His and Her Highness to either one of them. That's not happening, so what difference does it make? This dwelling on the titles, I just don't understand it. I'm getting to the point where I'm just sick of it. Do you hear me? Sick! Okay, and then there, of course, since I'm on a rant and I'm on a roll, then, of course, Lady C says that the couture fashion houses are no longer interested in the Duchess of Sussex. Really? Really? Seriously? That's all you got? That flip side of the nickel, Lady C, has a lot of nerves saying that nobody's interested in dressing the Duchess of Sussex. Whatever she wears, wherever she goes, whatever she's doing, something is going to reach a point where they are completely sold out of it. That's not even a question. Dior was fawning all over the fact that they were able to have a glimpse of the Duchess of Sussex carrying one of their handbags, which quickly sold out. The search for burgundy. The search for burgundy went through the ceiling because of the Duchess of Sussex. You're going to find more women walking down the street looking like a big glass of Merlot because of the Duchess of Sussex than you would have ever expected to have seen if Duchess Doolittle would have done the same. For the past few years, the Duchess of Sussex has been search engine gold when it comes to fashion. So listening to that baritone, Lady C, will get you nowhere because she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's wishful thinking. It does not bear any resemblance to real life, just like Lady C. Every day, I say the same prayer. Rescue the Windsors from themselves. And then my next prayer is for these so-called royal experts and authors, and rescue them from... Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't say that about any of them. The only people that I'm interested in when it comes to prayer is the Sussexes and family. But anybody else related to that family in any way, form, or fashion, I really don't care. Just like when they were saying that the Queen looks like she's in good spirits since the passing of Prince Philip. Good spirits? You mean full of spirits? She looks like she has been throwing them back. I have never seen her more jovial in my life, especially when she was at the G7 summit laughing and wielding a saber over her head. That's when I knew she was okay, so I'm not even worried about her. Every time I see the Queen, I see her doing two different things. Either she's laughing and whooping it up with the crowd, or she's digging that escape tunnel to help Andrew to help Andrew get out of Balmoral. So those are the two things that I see her doing. I'm going to say this, though, just so that you guys understand what my opinion is about this. I'm going to go back to the Sussexes. They have merely scratched the surface of their earning potential, but they are going to do it slowly, deliberately, and ethically, whenever and wherever possible. So all of these stories that people are conjuring up, they are only trying to hitch their wagon to the Sussexes' success. They are only trying to cash in on their names with all of these so-called opinions and ideas about the Sussexes. They have no clue. They have no clue what's going on in Montecito, California. And lastly, John Barnes. John Barnes, who I have never heard of before. And from what I've heard, I'm not particularly impressed. But I'll say this. When it comes to the idea of asking about the baby's color, it's not just a cut and dry thing like, oh, I wonder what his skin tone would look like, or who will he, I don't think it was as simple as that. Whoever asked Prince Harry that question was someone who had a vested interest in shaking him to his core, to the point where he felt very vulnerable for himself and for his family. And for anyone, in particular a person of color, to be dismissive of that or to make it seem like it was just one of those natural things, everything that you think, you don't have to ask and you don't have to say it. And in some cases, you only would mention something if you want to upset the other person. And in this instance, I believe that it was a sibling, someone who is suffering from the deep throes of a sibling rivalry, someone who is supposed to be the bigger person, but yet time and time again is living in the shadows of his younger brother. That individual, once again, has proved himself to be a bully. And that bully wanted to make sure that Prince Harry realized that your child or children will not be full and equal members of this family. They will be treated as others, and in particular if they look like others. Got it? And I believe that's exactly the tone of the question, followed by the statement that your children are not going to be a prince and later on a princess. Your children are not going to be a prince and a princess. And we're just going to change the rules. And I believe that this came in quick step form and fashion right after the issue of the baby's color came up, if not in the same conversation or a following conversation. They wanted Harry to know that. There was not going to be a surprise. We want you to know that this is the consequences of your choice of partner for life. So that is what I believe happened. I think that John Barnes, he inserted himself into that conversation. I guess he has a lot of opinions about things like that when it comes to the UK. Whatever it is, I really don't care. I think that he really should just keep it to himself. But unfortunately, he put it out there. And I think that he is only comfortable with being a victim. But if there's any other person who has been victimized, I think that he will dispute or downplay it or just plain reject it because it has nothing to do with him. And this is just what I've gathered from the little research that I've done on him. But it seems like it's okay for him to scream foul, "This is what happened to me." But it's not okay for other people to raise their hands and say, "This is what happened to me." He's the only one who can be the victim. So he seems to have an ego bigger than the great outdoors. And I'm not surprised that he had an opinion about this, but I just think that he really ought to keep it to himself, because trying to speak for all of one particular group or another in that country, I don't think it's useful. You know, we've had people in the U.S. that are supposed to speak for the entire African American community, and that never works out that well. I don't know who is the obvious leader of the community, because I don't think there is one. I think that different sectors of the community are represented in different ways. And I'm sure the same thing goes for the United Kingdom. So I think it's irresponsible. But we know how it is when it comes to people like, say, for instance, Candace Owens or whoever. You know, they got to have that person that they can agree with to make it okay for them to say what they're feeling. And so there's money to be made like that. Just like in the world of the Sussexes, if you have a hate channel, you can quit your job. A hate channel ensures that you can quit your job, which is really sad, but that's just a matter of fact. That's just the way it is. The hate channels means you have an income. And when it comes to people of color, if you can find that one person who will say what people outside of the community want to hear about the people in a particular community, then they can monetize that. So it's unfortunate, but this is what we live with, isn't it? You guys, don't despair. Worry not. Harry and Meghan got this. Grandma Doria got this. The children have like a powerful set of parents to guide them in life, and they are going to be heavy in resources to make sure that they are safe and comfortable, well educated and well fed. So don't worry about it. We're doing okay. They're doing okay. Let the haters hate. We will keep setting the story straight. We are going to keep speaking our truth, and we're going to keep standing up for the Sussexes. You and I, we're on the right side of history, so worry not, okay? I promise you. Things are, believe me, I think things are going better than expected for the Sussexes. That's it for now. Please like, subscribe, share, donate, etc. If you would like to make a donation and you don't know how, to help support this channel, you can go to the comments section where you can find links to the Patreon, the PayPal, and the Cash App. Thanks for watching Royal Sussex.